Welcome to the Real Estate Equation. I'm Ian Mayer with unrealistic. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Liz Bushman with Guild Mortgage. Nice to meet you.
Today, Liz, we want to talk about myths buyers have in their heads about the home buying process.
Okay.
A lot of myths out there.
A lot of myths.
So, first one is there's a perfect house out there. You just have to wait for it.
All right. So let's be real, right? Because that's what we are. We are the real estate equation experts. And the perfect house, being real, you just have to wait for it. It is about inventory, I will say. But it seems like we've had a little bit more inventory to choose from. So in reality, every home has issues, even new construction. So a lot of the problems that people, have may be neighborhood related. But it also could be, fixture or structure, related. So, but there's going to be something. No house is perfect unless you build it from ground up and you get to, custom build it.
Yeah, even that can have problems because then you have city setback rules and state codes and all sorts of regulations that make.
Yes.
But, outside of perfect house, there's also what you can afford. Locations that are affordable, that fit into your budget, that fit into what you can finance, what your lender says about how much you can afford.
Sure.
And then, there's no house. I've never been in any house and come out with 0 items on an inspection. And no, not even new houses. New homes always have issues. Sometimes, a few of them I've been actually worse than an old house. But that's kind of rare. But even new houses, they're going to have issues. There is no such thing as an absolutely perfect house. There's what's the perfect house for you and your budget.
Very true. So good call on that one. Yeah. So the perfect house is going to be based on what your needs and wants are and what your concerns are. So that's a conversation you need to have not only with your real estate agent, but your lender and your home inspector too. So
right.
Could play a big part of it.
So it goes to the next myth. If it's beautiful, it must be a good deal.
Must be. Beautiful. It's, there's diamonds on the roof. It's perfect. I love it. But as you say, and a lot of times things are digitally imposed or filtered on photos. It could also be staged. So it doesn't always mean that, that's what it's going to look like, after you move all your stuff in there. Funny story is when I was renting 20 years ago, I decided to move out and get my own place, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, all me, no roommates. And once I got there, I couldn't fit my big oversized couch through the door. So it was a great, but I had to go and buy all new furniture because I didn't measure everything.
The photoshopping. I can't tell you how many times I've been on an inspection and look at the fireplace and go, oh, the fireplace has got some major problems. And the client says, but in the photos, it works great. Mm-hmm. And then you look at the photos and someone photoshopped fire into the fireplace. It doesn't work. And a good deal is relative. Also comes back to financing and what you can afford, and is it really a good deal for the neighborhood? Yeah. All right, this leads into the next myth.
All right, you'll find something better next week. Sorry, I took that one from you.
Go ahead.
You'll find something better next week. So there's that, right? Trying to give them a little bit of hope, but are you going to find something better next week? And that comes down to a lot of times your budget, competition, where the market's at, where's inventory. So we're shooting this in July 2025. And last week in Burbank, there were 13 listings on Caravan. 13 listings. Now it is July, so there tends to be a little bit more inventory during the summer, but we've kind of shifted and turned a corner where we are a little bit in a buyer's drought. So there are a little bit more homes within price ranges that are days on market for a lot longer. So, it may not be now, may not be tomorrow, maybe next month, but there's definitely some choices out there. Buyers have a lot more choices.
One thing I've seen several times is they'll put an offer on the house, we'll do the inspection, comes back, all these issues. And they're like, you know what, it's too many issues. We'll move to the second house. Second house, second inspection, come up, kind of similar issues. Too many issues. Go to third house.
Yeah.
Do the inspection. We have pretty much all the same issues on the third house. And then the buyer suddenly goes, man, we should have just bought the first one.
Oh, yes. The first one, the one that got away. I always call it the one that got away.
Because they don't realize, no house is perfect. Every house is going to have issues. I'm not saying always buy the first house because there might be more issues than you want to deal with, but every house is going to have issues. And then as you go to, as we talk about the market, right now it is shifting you a little more room. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, if you didn't buy it and move in right away, it would be gone in a couple days. Now you have time, but, if you're always looking for the perfect house, the perfect time, the perfect everything, it's never going to line up just quite right. There's always going to have something you're going to have to adjust to or compromise on.
Yeah. I have buyers, though, that I will say a little bit more pickier than others. It's not their first home. It's their move-up home, and they have things that they want. And so they've been shopping and looking and shopping and looking, and we're talking over 20 homes so far, and that's not a lot in these markets. So 20 you shop 20 homes and gone to 20 different open houses. By the point you know what you want, and you can tell right away. There's sometimes you just don't even get out of the car; you just keep driving. So finding something better next week. Yeah, but be careful of that. Be careful of how picky and things that you want, because prices are going up still, even though that they're on the market. There's still a buyer's competition. So just wait till rates go down.
We were looking to buy this house. Well, we weren't looking to buy this house originally. We stumbled upon this house. We wanted to be in this neighborhood, and that was our primary driver, was to just be in this neighborhood. And then, we went to the kitchen. I guess I don't really like the kitchen that much, but it's okay. It wasn't a deal killer. And here we are, and I'm glad we bought it. All right, so this goes to the next myth. If the house looks fine, the systems must be fine.
Ooh, okay. So that's a good one to unpack. It's about appearances.
Yeah, so, you watch all these flipping shows. What do? They put in new countertops, they put in new cabinets, new flooring, new paint, and a lot of times to the naked eye. And then you go over to the electrical panel, it's old and outdated. It has significant wiring issues. Go find the air conditioner. It's old. It's rusting. Go find the heater. It's old. It's got a hole in it. It's not heating properly. The water heater, it's old. It's got rust on it. Go on the roof. It's old. It's been patched. It's got Band-Aids on it. And, then you have to go tell the buyer that this beautiful house that they think is so great actually has a lot of serious problems. So no, if the house looks beautiful, that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it's just going to look great on paper and look great for, on the NMLS, right? So there's a lot of lived-in properties for sure, homes that have been rented and not necessarily owned by a person, but by an entity. So, it's been a rental for the last at least 5 years. And so there's a lot of deferred maintenance, but you don't see that in the pictures. So it's always important to get a home inspection. And of course, if you're getting your home financed, you're going to need an appraisal. So let's move on to the next one, which this is your jam, but I'll say it and then you can run with it. Myths. Inspections are about scaring people. Do you scare people, Ian?
No. Sometimes people should actually be scared. This is a big myth. That the home inspection is really just to scare you away. We're going to tell you all the bad things, that the boogeyman's hiding in the closet, and all the reasons you shouldn't buy this house. The inspections are not actually to scare you. The inspections are to inform you, to give you full understanding about all the aspects of your home so that you can make an informed decision. So no, we're not there to scare you. We're there to give you an informed decision. Now, if your decision is that you should be scared of the house, that is up to you. But that's not the purpose of the inspection. And then, outside of the general inspection that we do, we do a sewer inspection. There may be a pool inspection if you have a pool. People request a mold inspection. And then outside of anything that we do, you probably want to get a termite inspection for pest-destroying organisms. That may be more or less scary than the general inspection. And you may have specialty inspections beyond that, depending on the type of house you're buying. But none of this stuff is is to scare you. It's to let you make an informed decision. Some people do end up scared, but that sort of goes back to what we said. There is no perfect house.
There's no perfect.
And I've seen people who got scared and walked away, and then the second house, the third house, it's sort of the same things. So, sometimes I'll sit down with a buyer at the end of the inspection and I'll say, look, this house has these 10 issues. They're kind of serious issues, but I bet every house on this block has the same issues because they're all built at the same time by the same person, and that's just kind of how these things go. A lot of things that come up on inspections are not really necessarily someone did something wrong, but it was the 70s. It sounded like a good idea at the time.
A lot of things did that.
It's the equivalent of lawn darts. You remember lawn darts? Like, what a bad idea. And now they're banned. But at one point in time, someone thought they were a good idea. And there's a lot of aspects of housing in houses that are like that. It's like, it sounded like a good idea at the time. That's how they did it. And now we know better.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be scared. You just need to know and understand.
And not all home inspectors are scary. Ian's not scary. He'll take good care of your clients. He does.
Everybody on my team is not scary.
Yes. So let's talk quickly about the myth about charm. So charm matters more than condition. So I love those.
Yeah, we mentioned this a little bit in our last episode. You see on TV, the wife wants charm, and the husband's going, oh, but if we get something charming, I'm going to have to spend my weekends fixing it. And it's like, no, if you want something really old and charming, there's a potential for some really serious issues. You have potential for foundation issues. There's potential that it's going to have really old wiring, a really old panel, really old heating and air conditioning system. And these are not simple things you can do by yourself on the weekend. You can't rewire a house by yourself on the weekend. That takes, a qualified electrician who's going to take several days probably to rewire an entire house. So, no, not saying every old house has all these issues. But they're potential issues, and you need to understand when you get into old houses. Yeah, I love charm, I love history, I love vintage things. But you need to understand, vintage things don't come with modern amenities all the time.
Right. So those oversized appliances may not fit correctly in the kitchens if you haven't done the gut and the remodel of a new kitchen on an old house. But there's a lot of things with charm. Charm's not always bad, and I fall right in the middle where I like things that are a little unique and have style versus something that is, cookie cutter and you can run down to Floor and Decor and just, everybody's got the same, gray tile or the white subway tile everywhere. So there's a little bit of something in the middle, and I think something for everybody. But you got to know what kind of home you're looking for to go back to what is going to be your best home for you. I'm not going to say perfect house because that was a myth, but the best home for you right now and your family in the next 5, 10, 15 years, or however long you're going to own that home. So charm that matters more than condition. I would say they probably need a renovation loan. Fix that stuff and make it work because, we need the modern amenities of running water, electricity, and sewer, right?
Yeah.
We're not about, this isn't glamping.
Are you ready for the next myth?
Let's move on. Yes.
If it appraises, it's all good.
It's all good. We're all good. It's clean, right? I think many lenders have said that, like, oh yeah, it's appraised. We're all good. I think what we mean to say is we're good to move forward to the next step, So that next step is either underwriting or maybe we're getting ready for closing. It's one of those fast closes. But it takes a little bit more than just coming in at the right value matching contract price for it to work. Am I right?
Yeah, there's a bit of misconception that, if it appraises, therefore all the systems work, and they don't realize the appraiser's not really there to look at the systems, not really there to look at the condition. They're there to establish value. And there's a hair little bit of where they cross over into home inspections, especially if they're doing a VA or FHA loan, where they're going to see, is there hot water? But they don't care if there's hot water at every sink. They just care that there's a source of hot water. Is there a source of heat? Doesn't matter if it works. A fireplace can be a source of heat.
A fireplace can, yes. But the fireplace does have to work.
So just because it appraises for value doesn't mean everything behind the scenes is great. And even on the financial side, just because it appraises doesn't necessarily mean it lines up with your budget or your financing or that it's a really good deal.
Yeah.
It just means the appraiser agrees that the money you're borrowing makes sense.
Correct. That the value and the lender are on the same page, the appraiser and the lender, which I have to be careful when I say that because appraisal rules, there's an independence regulation. So
yes.
Appraisers are independent contractors, even though it's required for the loan, they are not employees of the loan. But going back to if it appraises, it's all good. It's all good to move forward with financing, which means there's, the good thing about it is that there isn't any renegotiations or added drama that has to go into play. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, that the house is perfect. The house is financeable.
Right.
Yeah.
I still remember my first house, it was kind of near the 101. But the appraiser had driven down from the north part of the valley.
Okay.
So he took the 118 and came down. So he put on the appraisal near the 118.
Oh.
As convenience, because that's one of the things they look at is it convenient to
the neighborhood
public transportation and such. And so I always laughed at that he got the wrong freeway. But anyway, the biggest myth about buying a home is you're just buying a house and it's going to remain just the way it is.
Elaborate a little bit more. It will remain just as is? You mean everything's going to work forever?
Yeah, everything's going to work forever. I follow Mark Manson, and it says the house you buy is the house you repair. Everything in your house, much like your car, much like your body, you have to take care of it.
It ages.
Things get old. Things need to be replaced. I just had to replace my garage door springs. I had to buy a new dishwasher last week. Things in the house can and will break over time, and it needs constant upkeep. And so the house you buy is the house you have to take care of.
God, yes, I see what you mean. Yes, the house you buy is the house you have to take care of. And you have to take care of it very kindly. Otherwise, stuff... if you don't take care of it on the other side, what's going to happen when you try to resell it? Could you get financing? Is it aged to the point where, there are homes that aren't financeable. And so those homes will be as part of a condition rating from the appraiser. If it is so poor in structure it's such in poor condition that Fannie Mae or FHA, HUD, or VA, you can't get standard financing and it becomes a cash property or renovation property. But as one thing I think you wanted to also talk about is location. So, when you're buying a house, you're also buying the neighborhood that it comes with, right?
Yeah, well, that's the old joke. What are the three most important words in real estate? Location, location, location. As a home inspectors, we're not really looking at location. We assume that you have approved the location and identified the location ahead of time. We're not going to come in and say, oh, what a great neighborhood or what a lousy neighborhood. We assume you figured that part out because you called us to inspect that house already. You've already put an offer on it. You're already in escrow. But for myself, I'm going to take a better location than anything. When we moved here to this house from the last house, this house was not actually any nicer than our old house. We actually liked our other house better. But this one had a better location and had a better backyard. And that was the only reason we moved. But, the house, is not going to remain as is forever. Things can and will break over time, and they need constant maintenance. Just like your car, you got to put gas in your car. You got to change the oil every once in a while. You got to change the tires every once in a while. The windshield wipers go out. Your house is the same thing. I've been here 18 years, so my 20-year roof is getting close to end.
Don't you love those ages? It's like, and it hits 30. It's like that's, you're lucky.
And then if your house comes with a particular feature, well, guess what? You get to take care of that feature. That's how I know.
How do you know, Ian?
Because this house had a koi pond when we first bought it.
Oh, the koi pond. Yes, the koi pond.
And
Tell listeners about the koi pond.
so we weren't thinking about a koi pond. We didn't necessarily want a koi pond, but it had one. And we're like, well, it's cool. It's got these fish in it. They're cool and they swim around. And all right, well, I guess we're going to buy a house at the koi pond because we really wanted the house, but not so much the koi pond. But, what were we going to do? We weren't going to just get rid of it. Well, that meant I had to clean the pond, which about once a week meant having to get there with a strainer and clean out the extra algae. It meant having to clean the filter. It meant having to replace the pump when the pump went out. It meant having to replace the filter when the filter went out.
Yeah.
It meant buying another pump later on because the second pump, had issues. And we didn't really have money at the time for any of this. And then once we got through all of that, then raccoons and birds started feeding on the fish after we'd been here 3 or 4 years. And so all of a sudden we started to lose all the koi. And that we'd spent all this money on extra pumps and filters, and it became a giant mess. We ended up giving away the last of the fish to someone who had a dedicated koi pond set up.
Yeah.
But, the lesson was, when you buy a house and it has a feature, you got to take care of that feature. You buy a house with a pool, you're going to need pool maintenance. You buy a house with a working heating and air conditioning system, you got to change the filter every once in a while. You buy a house with a garage door, you need to lube the garage door every once in a while. The garage springs will eventually wear out and break and need to be replaced. Things go on and on.
Yeah. Yes, they do. It's a constant maintenance or constant update. So, you have to replace things that break. And let's plug our wonderful friends at the Home Warranty. Because if you have a home warranty on your home for appliances too, appliance warranty, that can help ease those costs.
Yes.
But I don't think koi ponds are under the warrantable condition.
I don't think they were either.
No, but water heaters are. So water heater is a nice benefit. And if you have first class upgrades, you got like HVAC. So that can all be wrapped into your home warranty policy. So let's plug our friends over at Warranty Groups.
All right. Well, these have been myths about buying a home. And I'm Ian Mayer. This has been the Real Estate Equation. I'm Home Inspections that matter for people who care. 818-298-3405.
And I'm Liz Bushman with Guild Mortgage, lending with heart, serving with purpose. We're in Burbank, and you can find us at 818-405-0809. Thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.